Yeah, I think the deal and the appointment of Bari Weiss to be the head of CBS News raises a number of questions about the media consolidation, free speech, and the Trump administration, which I think you can't read out of the picture here. Standing on its own, the decision of Paramount Skydance to acquire an upstart, newsletter or to appoint a new person as the head of its news division, CBS News Division, on their own wouldn't necessarily be big news in my view, because as a private company, they have the right to acquire whatever news outlets they want and appoint whoever they want to be the head of their CBS flagship news program. However, I think you need to see this in the context of a number of moves that Paramount has made in the past year. And you have to see all of this in the context of the Trump administration. And I think what it raises the question of whether media companies are changing their news coverage in order to appease the Trump administration.
All right. So are they?
Well, I mean, I think, if you take each individual fact, maybe it doesn't prove that. But I think if you see this recent move in light of Paramount's decision before the merger to settle what was plainly a frivolous lawsuit brought by President Trump, based on the airing by 60 Minutes of an edited version of its interview with Kamala Harris.
Hmm.
And, by all accounts, including by CBS News's accounts and their lawyers' accounts, this was a frivolous lawsuit that shouldn't have gone anywhere. And CBS had a very strong First Amendment argument to get the case dismissed. But then Paramount went ahead and settled this after not just the lawsuit, but the Federal Communications Commission under Brendan Carr, Chairman Brendan Carr, was investigating this same airing of the Kamala Harris interview. So you have pressure coming to bear from both Trump personally and from the Federal Communications Commission. And I think it's been pretty widely reported that the understanding is that Paramount settled this case in order to get approval for its merger. And I think you can see the appointment of a, well-known critic of at least some parts of the left, Bari Weiss, and taking that into coupled with the appointment of an ombudsman who is from a conservative think tank. You look at all of those data points, and it suggests that CBS is moving, or Paramount is moving CBS in a different direction in order to either appease Trump or to not draw the ire of the Trump administration and its regulatory agencies.
So, Katie, we've talked about this, Tim and I, about kind of the fiduciary responsibility of anybody who runs a public entity, right? So, I kind of get some of this from that side, or from that angle. Having said that, one of the things that I think we've talked about, certainly in our own newsroom or just among ourselves, is this idea of, the White House has been very specific or out there that if they don't necessarily like a media organization, that they will ban you. And so is it better in terms of protecting free speech or making sure that everybody can cover the White House, that they play ball a little bit and maybe aren't as combative? Or are we, in doing that, giving up what is such a core of America, and that is the right to freedom of speech and the free press to keep politicians accountable?
Yeah, I mean, it's true that there may be tension between the fiduciary duty or the profit-seeking purpose of private companies, or publicly held or whatever, just private corporations, which have one goal of maximizing profits. Versus free speech, which has the goal of ensuring that people are allowed to say what they want, free from government interference. And as you mentioned, really critically, the role of the press in covering the government in a fair and accurate way without a thumb on the scale from government pressure. So I think those could be seen in tension with one another. On the
Mm.
other hand, I think that, and that is something that
Just got
troubles
20
me. And
seconds.
frankly,
Yeah, go
oh
ahead.
yeah, frankly, from the perspective of media consolidation, I think that could have a negative impact on free speech. And I think it's really important that companies and news outlets resist that pressure.